Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with actually a second video, and this video is actually a dating and relationship video. And what I want to start off by saying is expect it at the beginning. Expect it at the beginning. When you are a woman who has boundaries and who has placed herself at a higher standard because you have actually walked into and you have actually discovered who you are and your value and your worth, and that broken consciousness have now been restored, and now you have boundaries and you know that God is calling you to a higher standard. You don't have to be intimidated by that. You don't have to hide that. You don't have to feel like, okay, if he knows that I have boundaries or standards, or I know my worth, like he's not going to stick around, or he's going to run off. But I'm here to let you know that be thankful and thank God that you have boundaries and that you have standards, and that you have tapped into your self-worth and your value. Because the reason I say that is a real man will appreciate that. If a man leaves you because you are enforcing your boundaries, because you have placed yourself at a higher standard, because you know God is calling you higher, and if a man leaves because of that, he's not the one for you. Because this is what I believe, that a lot of us women, we experience bad relationships. But don't you know that men also experience that as well? And don't you know that they're looking for that queen? They're looking for that God-fearing woman. That real man and that true king is looking for that God-fearing woman, because he's had some bad experiences too. And don't you know that when he actually finally come across that woman who has those boundaries, that woman who is confident, that woman who is classy, like when he actually come across that woman, it's like an exhale for him. It's like, man, finally I got a woman here with boundaries and knows who she is. She's classy. She knows her worth. She placing herself at a higher standard. She's God-fearing. So a real man and a true king will appreciate that. And a man who runs away from you or ghosts you or reject you or whatever because you are enforcing your boundaries, we have to get to a place as women that don't matter. That don't matter. And the reason I say that we don't have to be intimidated by it, like walk in that, knowing that you have found your queen, you have found your crown, and now that you are queen and that you're walking in that. And what I'm saying is, you don't have to be arrogant about it. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to get all disrespectful or anything about it. But walk in that. Walk in the fact is that you have boundaries and that you have standards and that you have tapped into your self-worth and your self-value, and walk in that, and don't be ashamed. And when I say that, expect it at the beginning, is that you have to expect for him at the beginning to treat you well, to be nice, to pay for all the dates, like to say all the right things, to be consistent. Expect that at the beginning. Like, don't be too impressed with that, because what you're doing is you're expecting for him to be that way at the very beginning, and that you're not allowing yourself to be impressed. So then that you're not rushing, and that you're not moving too fast and too quick into a hurry, because you're so caught up in him doing all the right things, saying all the right things, paying for all the dates, being consistent and all of that. But you have to expect for him to be that way at the very beginning. And it's our place as women when we start dating, and only time will tell, is this who he really is, or is this just his representative? Is this who he really is, or is this who he's just pretending to be? Because his motives or his intentions are not right. And only time will tell. But a lot of us women are moving too fast, quick, in a hurry, because we're just blown away that a man have shown us attention. But just because a man approaches you and seems like he's interested in you doesn't mean that he has your best interests at heart. It doesn't mean that his motives or his intentions are pure. You have to understand that some people have their own plan in mind. And it could be a man approaching you with his whole plan, and he just trying to find a woman that is weak-willed, a woman that's vulnerable, a woman that doesn't even know who she is, to basically fall for the bait. And many of us are falling for the bait. At the very beginning, when we see him doing all these things, we just quickly let our guard down. You have to keep your guard up. And you have to be able to watch, you have to observe, you have to collect data. Like at the very beginning, us women, we should not be doing nothing. We should just be watching what this man is doing. We should be listening to the words that are coming out of his mouth. We need to be collecting data. We really need to know what this is. Is this who he really is? Or is this his representative? Because what we have to do is we have to be able to step back and see, let this man be a man. See if he's able to lead you going in the right direction. To see if he knows who he is, if he's actually walking into true masculinity. But a lot of times, our self-esteem is not where it needs to be. So when a man approaches us, we just go head over heels because we're just so shocked and surprised that a man have shown some interest in us. So we take it and we just run with it. So we go in just trying to make something happen. We're doing what we can to get this man and to keep him. And even if that means that I have to go against who I know, to go against what I know is right. And even if that means just doing whatever this man wants me to do. Because of how we really feel about each other. And how we really feel about ourselves. Because some of us women, we feel so low about ourselves. And a lot of times, this is what I found out too, that when your self-esteem is high, and when you have those boundaries, when you place yourself at a higher standard, when you know your worth, when you know your value, like you're not impressed by this man telling you how beautiful you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not impressed. You're not too caught up in him telling you how good you look. Because you're not saying it to him, but you're telling yourself, like, I already know that I'm beautiful, But it's good that he tells you that. But you're not allowing yourself to get caught up in that because you don't see yourself, you don't see your beauty in the lens of a man. So the only time you feel like you're beautiful is when a man is telling you that you're beautiful. But other than that, you don't even think that you're beautiful. You don't even think that you're pretty. So you see your beauty in the lens of a man. So it's like your validation comes from a man. And when we look to a man to validate us, that means that this man has power and control over you. Like this man has so much influence over you. When you only see your beauty through his lens. And when he's the only one that validates you. That means that he has so much power and so much influence and control over you. And no man, no woman, nobody should have that much control over you but the Holy Spirit. So expect that at the beginning. Expect for him to be doing all the right things and not to allow yourself to let go and just completely just let your guard down. Expect for him to be consistent. But what we have to do is we have to give this thing time, and we have to sit back and we have to watch. Is this who he really is? Or is he just pretending to be this way? Because he has a whole plan or a whole agenda in place. And he's just looking for a scapegoat. So expect it at the beginning. And don't allow yourself to get so caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you have to be able to tell yourself, okay, you're calling, we're going out on dates, you're doing all the right things, you're saying all the right things, but I'm still keeping my boundaries intact. I'm still placing myself at a higher standard. So like if he's doing all of this just to get something from you, then it would be good to know that you kept all of that intact, that you kept your boundaries. You held on to that, and you didn't let yourself go. You guarded your heart. You didn't let your guard down. So I just wanted to let you all know that with this dating and relationship thing, just expect for him to be nice, and expect for him to be doing all the right things, saying all the right things at the very beginning. But only time will tell if this is who he really is. But when all of this is happening, ladies, we have to stand our ground. That means that we have to stand on our boundaries and keep ourselves at that higher standard, holding on tight to our self-worth and our self-value. Because when you don't know who you are, and when you don't have those boundaries, and when you don't have none of that stuff intact, then what usually happens is men just come into our lives and they just run through us. Like, they just running through us, just running through you, because you don't have those standards. You're just completely open and exposed to any and everybody, and a man could just come in and just whoop it on you and say whatever he want to say to you, and take you out on a few dates, and then he got you pretty much locked in. You know what I'm saying? But when you have actually have those boundaries, and you're enforcing them, and you're standing on them, and you have actually tapped into who you really are, and there is a restored consciousness, that you're not gonna let yourself go like that. You're not gonna let yourself go like that. And if he wants to leave, if he wants to ghost you, then it's like, okay, that lets you know, and that lets me know that he just was not the one for you. But there's a man out there. There is a man out there that he can't wait. I'm here to let you know. There is a man out there. I just believe this. Us women, that when we have those boundaries, and we know our worth, and we got our classy, like we're classy, and we got our crown on our heads, and we're strong, and we're walking in our femininity, and that we are placing ourselves at that high standard, there is a man out there that can't wait to meet that woman. Like, where's the women at with the boundaries? Where's the women at with the high standards? Where's the women at that is classy? She know who she is. She's confident. Like, she throwing all of that queen energy around. Like, there's a man that's like, where is she? Like some of us women, we say, where is he? There's a man out there saying, where is she? Because I cannot wait to find her. He finds us. We don't find him. And sometimes God puts you in hiding. Such is the time. Because there's a time and season for everything. And then he brings you out of hiding to be found by your husband. But God's timing is perfect. And don't rush it. Don't get frustrated. Just hang in there. Just stay in there. And just enjoy this time and this season of just singleness. Like, we don't have to go out trying to look for a man, find a man, or anything like that. But expect it at the beginning. Like, expect it. He's saying all the right things. Expect all of that at the beginning. But what you and I need to know is how long will he keep this up? Is this who he really is? Or is he just pretending to be something that he's not, because he's trying to get something he feels he needs from you? And that, ladies, we don't have to be going in giving nothing. We don't have to be giving money. We don't have to be paying for no dates. We don't have to be investing in nothing. We don't have to be doing none of that. Our role and our place is to be watching, is to be observing, is to be listening, to be collecting data. You don't have to be giving nothing. No, none of that. You just be the queen that you are, with your crown on your head, with your boundaries intact, and you placing yourself at that high standard. Holding on to your worth, holding on to your value. And guarding your heart. So expect it. Expect it at the beginning. Don't allow yourself to get so wrapped up in that. You know, that you're so impressed by that. You know, so I just wanted to get on here and talk about that. You know, when if you meet a guy and if you're dating and you're like, oh my goodness, he's just so nice, but you've only known him for a week, and he's doing this and he's doing that, and he just seems so nice, but you've only known him for a week. Expect that at the beginning. You've only known him for 2 weeks. Expect that at the beginning. Don't allow yourself to go. Don't let yourself go in that. Don't allow yourself to get so impressed by that. Expect it at the beginning. But is this who he really is? Or he's just trying to pretend to be something that he's not, because he's trying to get what he wants, what he really wants from you. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button, that notification bell, and anytime I upload a video, that you will be notified. So in the meantime, take care, be safe. Bye.